doing today?
I'm having some issues making a decision. I'm in grad school right now, and I'm not full-time, but I'm about to go into a stage where it'll be a little bit more demanding, and I want a new job. But the jobs I really want are full-time, which I haven't had a full-time job in a while, so I'm almost hesitant to even apply to some jobs, because like even though I know I'm qualified and I could do it, I'm just like, oh, well, what if I can't, and like, because school and work, something's got to give, and I'm like, I can't be school because, this is a lot of money, and then with work, it's like, well, I also need money, so like, I have this, I don't know where to go, really, or what to do.
So I hear you saying that on one side, right now you're currently working part-time and you're going to grad school, and right now that's working, but you would like more experience, so you want to apply to a full-time position, but you are a little bit hesitant because you're nervous. And is one area going to suffer because now you have a full-time job and then full-time grad school?
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like I'm getting a little pressured to get a full-time job because my mom is very well-meaning, and I've talked to her about this because she literally gave me a panic attack because she was like, well, you need to find a new job, you need more hours, you need more money. And I'm like, well, you telling me that's not doing anything, it's just causing me anxiety, and it was really bad. And so to go from here is kind of like, I have applied, I've pushed myself out there, but it's been to the extent of like, well, it is what it is, and I'll deal with it if it happens, and if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. But that's not how I want to be looking at it.
So you have a lot of external pressure, and that pressure might have even influenced you to apply, and it seems like it's important to you to branch out, but at the same time, you don't want to be in a situation where you're feeling overwhelmed and one area that's important to you gets less than your best.
Yeah. And so it's just, look, that's exactly right. And like I said, I know my mother meant well. She was just trying to encourage me, but like in that moment, like I was already stressed about like, oh, well, I didn't get that many hours this week, I need more. And so that on top of here, like, oh, well, you then get a different job, do this. And she makes it sound so easy. And I'm like, well, it's actually really not. I might have a college degree, but people either won't hire me because I have it because they have to pay me more, or it's like, oh, you don't have the experience to back it up. So it causes me stress to even apply to something because I put in all this effort on this giant, long application. And then it's like, well, I may not even get it, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's a lot of, like, coming back to the pressure, like having, it's easier said than done, essentially, and then going through the process of making the extra time in your already busy schedule to go out and do those things, and then if it doesn't come through for something like not having experience, then it's discouraging and probably gives you more stress.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, I want a full-time job because I think it'd be really nice because I'd be more stable and I wouldn't have to rely on my loans as much, which I only have to do a little bit now. Mm-hmm. But it would just be, like, I'd get so much more experience in certain jobs, and I think that would help me. And so I'm trying to look at it as it's bettering me as a person. It just might drive me a little crazy at some points. But it's getting to that point where I've gotten so used to having, like, oh, I have a day off and, like, free time and all the things I'm used to. And when it's gone, like, I don't know how I'll cope with that and school.
So having that free time is important to you. It allows you some time to, self-care and relax. But also branching out and growing is something that's important to you as well. So on one hand, you have I would like my free time, like to be able to self-care and relax. And on the other hand, you say, well, I want to grow and challenge myself, so I want to do something new.
Yeah, and it's just like this. It's been like this for a couple of months where I'm just kind of teetering between the two. And like I said, like I have put in applications and I've tried, and like I've had interviews and like things that like I might get a current this one job, but even with that I was like, oh God, because I'm doing summer class and then I have it's just no, it's not fun.
Well, having that awareness of I want my leisure time, but at the same time I want to grow, I think is something in itself to feel accomplished about. It's hard to recognize the two different sides of ambivalence that you're on, so I really commend you for that. And I think going out and doing those things despite like feeling really hesitant about the outcome shows you're very brave, so I really commend you on that.
Thank you.
So what would it look like if you were to get the full-time job?
Well, good news is I'm taking a class right now, which for some reason I thought it was 5 weeks, but it was because my next one is. But I was like, I don't know how I would do a 40-hour work week on top of that because it's in the middle of the day. So I was like, if I got this now, I don't know how that would work. But then I was talking to my roommate about it because I was, freaking out. And she's like, well, how long would it really last? And so she was helping me be more logical about it because sometimes I need to do that because I can't just let it, fill up my head and be like, oh my God, this is freaking me out. I have to be logical. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what's saving me because I'm like, oh, well, I don't think I give myself enough credit for what I can handle. Like all through high school and undergrad, I always had something going on. So I got used to being busy. I just think having more free time than normal has gotten me a little lazy and like, oh, well, I don't know if I can get that done in time. And it's just this, yeah.
So it sounds like it was reassuring talking to your friend and looking at it like, oh, I have been busy throughout my entire life. And it sounds like you're confident that you could do it if you did get it, which is great. It's just giving up that leisure time that you're saying, am I sure I really want to do this? And then having the added pressure of now that I don't have as much time, the deadlines and the stress that comes with that.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's just, I'm trying to take it as it comes, and hopefully I do get it because that would help me grow, like you mentioned, like that would help me grow, and I think growth is important. So, yeah.
So, when just talking about growth, how important to you is it on the scale of 1 to 10?
With where I'm at in my career trajectory, I would say it's a 10. Like I need to be pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I need to be trying new things. I need to be getting experience. I need to be doing these things.
Okay, so you say that it's a 10 and you want to be growing and doing things and getting experience. What makes it a 10 versus a 1?
Well, because I don't know. I feel like if I'm at a 1, I'm not learning anything. I'm just there. It's not, I don't know. It's just like a stagnant life. It's not like I hate change, but I like it at the same time sort of thing. Like it'll help me.
So it's important for you to grow because you can see the long-term effects of growth.
Yeah.
So it sounds like from applying, you are, taking those steps towards, having that change, which is so important to you.
Yeah.
So after talking, how do you feel about, taking the extra steps?
I think I need to do it. Like I don't know if it's necessarily something that I want to do, but it's a need. And so I think I'll keep applying and looking for full-time positions to get, to grow. And if it happens, it happens. Like if I get the job, but if it doesn't, I'll just have to figure out how to not be discouraged by it and maybe find other ways to grow.
So you're willing to go out and put in more applications, and then be mindful that if it doesn't work out, to not be so discouraged. And
You're good.
Oh, you're more than good.
Oh, okay.
Did you see my phone?
No.
Oh, God.